Hey guys, Hamsterwheel here with a new video and welcome to my review of Gamer District. The reason I decided to review the server is because I've been leveling there with my good friend Dr. Nomad, and while leveling there I had a lot of fun and thought the server itself looked quite promising, and because of that I decided a full-fledged review was the only right thing to do. So what is Gamer District? Well, Gamer District is a Wrath of the Lich King private server with a 7x leveling, reputation and gold rate, a 2x rate for items up to rare, and everything else is set to 1x rate. They have features such as refer a friend, custom events held by staff, transmog and much more. For a complete list of their information you can go to the website, which is linked in the video description. So for this review I decided to mix it up a bit and go Alliance. I'll tell you why I did that later in this video. Which left me wondering what race to choose. I mean, humans are boring, Draenei are space goats, Night Elves are a bunch of tree-hugging hippies, and gnomes, well, no comment. Dwarves, however, are pretty awesome, so dwarf it is. And like my Warsong review, I decided to roll with a hunter as they're wonderful for leveling. So here we are on the Alliance side. I'll be honest, it feels weird to level on this faction. Anyway, let's start killing. Now we're starting off slow by killing some moles, but there are some things I noticed right away. First of all, there's no lag whatsoever, so that's excellent, and when running around these trees I noticed that the pathfinding is excellent as well. Much better than I've seen on a lot of servers, so we're off to a good start. Now because this is a 7x experience rate server, I reached level 4 in no time at all, and before I knew it, I was high enough level to leave the starting area. Now let's talk a bit about the high experience rate of this server, because normally this is kind of a red flag for me, as that usually means a lot of quests are bugged, so to compensate for that, they just up the experience rate. Is this the same for Gamer District? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's by doing more quests. And now that I'm level 10, I can start doing the quest for obtaining my pets. Let's see how well this works. And here we go. Well, that worked out just fine. I like taming the snow leopard. The last one though is instant complete. I'm not sure why, considering it's exactly the same like the other ones, but oh well, at least I can now train a pet of my own. That boar seems like a good pet. Time to inject it with some love. And there we go. Now let's use my old pet name again. Ah, damn it. Oh well, guess we'll just have to settle with Hamster. Now that we're in Iron Forge, we can check if the deep tram is working, and what do you know, it's working flawlessly. One of the unique features of Gamer District are these portals that can take you to several places. However, you have to vote on their website to be able to use them, so keep that in mind. Anyway, back to leveling, and while we're making our way to Loch Modan, we might as well check out how many people are playing right now on the server. And as it turns out, the population is hovering at around 900 people as of right now, which is a total of Horde and Alliance, by the way. And there we go, level 15. Time to queue up for the dungeon finder and see if we can find a group. Yeah, that doesn't look too good. I'll just leave that on while we're leveling. And here in Loch Modan we gathered some mining gear, slayed some kobold vermin, and I found another example of proper pathfinding. As you can see, I'm below this mob, but very close to him. On other servers with poor pathfinding, I would aggro this mob, but here in Gamer District, all is well. Next up we have some quests close to the dam, and I just had to get this cool panic shot in, cause this dam is freaking awesome. A little later, I bumped into a fishing trainer, so I figured I might as well have a quick look at this profession, and it seems all is working correctly. And like all the other professions, the skill is set to 7x rate. Oh, by the way, almost an hour in the queue and still no group. Yeah. Sometime later we find ourselves in the wetlands, and what do you know, I actually got a dungeon to pop. It only took me almost 3 hours, but at least we can now check out some low-level dungeons. The first thing I notice is the fact that they have cross-faction enabled, probably because of the low amount of leveling players. And before we have even started the dungeon, one of our party members decides to leave without saying a word. Seriously, fuck that guy. And then 15 minutes later, our second party member is also gone, so now it's just the 3 of us. Not exactly the best way to start a dungeon. Still though, with the 3 of us we managed to clear most of the dungeon, and all seems in place here too. I would have loved to do the end boss, but the third guy had to leave as we simply could not kill the ads with just the 2 of us. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Then we had to check giant piles of living ooze for someone's back. Just don't ask me how it got up there. And as a reward we got an ooze covered bag. Yuck. Bit later on, and there we go, level 30. I'd also like to point out that line of sight regarding hills works just fine as well. As you can see, I can't attack the mob when I'm in this ditch, which is the correct way it should work. So we're once again at Nesungwari's camp in Stranglethorn Vale. Let's pray for no level 80s kicking my ass, and luckily my ass was spared and I managed to complete all of the mastery quests. At level 38 I got my next dungeon pop, and Scarlet Monastery was the dungeon I joined. Luckily this went a lot smoother and it seemed everything was alright. Until we wiped once and the tank quit. And then everyone else quit. Yeah, it was one of those groups. Ergo, I'm too lazy to try this again, so I'm just gonna leave and waste everyone's time. Thanks for that, guys. What a great dungeon group. On to Gadget-san, which is another hotbed for gankers. I mean, I don't know what gives it away, but it sure looks like it. I don't know. Anyway, back to another quest I like to do, which is the dowsing quest where a mob should spawn. And there you go. Works great. Then we killed some ogres, hunted down Caliph Scorpion Sting, and before I knew it, I was level 50. Oh, by the way, third dungeon pop. And nope. Fourth dungeon pop, and finally, we're in. And what do you know, we're actually able to check out Blackrock Depths. So the run itself went smooth. No bugs that I could spot, and mobs acting like they should be acting, and we even managed to get that last boss and get our RDF bonus. Quite an accomplishment compared to the atrocious dungeon runs I had before this one. Also, there seems to be a world message going out whenever there's a 3 versus 3 team for arenas ready, and if I will answer the call. Well, you know, I think I'll pass. And I can't believe it, another dungeon pop. This one was Dire Maul, and our tank was some crazy ass level 60 twink with tons of gear, so naturally it was smooth sailing. The only thing that was kinda off was the fact that this door was already open, which isn't correct, but other than that the instance worked just fine. And there we go, level 60. Time to head to Outlands. And in the Outlands, my pet decided to have a seizure with this fell orc here for no reason. Anyway, we did some quests in Hellfire Peninsula, including this bombing mission, and it all works perfectly. And then we arrive in Shatra City with possibly the most tedious quest ever, the City of Light quest. But, since this is a non-killing quest that requires some animation and dialogue, let's just suffer through this. There we go. Well, it worked fine at least. Now that we're level 69, we're doing the Besieged quest chain, starting with killing Infernals, and as you can see they fall down from the sky and spawn correctly. Next part is where we have to disguise ourselves as a crate. Yeah, I wonder where they got that from. Watch a dialogue, and once again I'm very impressed. All the animation works flawlessly, the text pops up correctly, and remember this is a Burning Crusade quest on a Wrath of the Lich King client. Seriously, Phoenix could learn a thing or two from the guys at Gamer District. And there we are, level 70, just 10 more levels to go. And now that we're level 70, it's time to check out the Wrath of the Lich King content. Since this is obviously the main focus of the game, and since all the other stuff worked pretty much flawlessly, I'm going in with high expectations. So on this quest we need to trap these flying mobs with a net and then finish them off. The animation and the item work perfectly, but the quest itself says I've slain the mob even though I only used the net, and the mob is still alive, so it is a little wonky. Next up we gotta collapse some sinkholes with dynamite, and I'm amazed by the animation working just fine, and I say that because this is actually the first time I see it working correctly after playing on many other private servers with Wrath Lich King content. And then we get another dungeon pop, and it's our first Wrath Lich King dungeon. Can't wait to see what things are like on Gamer Districts. And then the tank dies in 2 seconds because he's horribly undergeared, and then people started leaving. Fucking wonderful, another failed dungeon group. After a while we got a better dungeon group, and now we're doing the Nexus. I was pleased to see that this run went a lot better. The bosses in there worked as intended, and we managed to complete the entire dungeon. Then it was time for some questing in the Sholazar Basin, which all went fine, and eventually I found myself at level 79, just 1 level away from level cap. So with 1 level left, I decided to do the Sons of Hodir quest chain, a quest chain that required many non-generic killing quests with lots of animation and items that need to work properly. A perfect benchmark for finding out how the Northrend quest content is working. So our first order of business is to kill mobs, collect the keys, and free the goblin prisoners, which went quite smoothly. A little later, and we have to disguise ourselves as a Brunhildar challenger and discipline some exhausted Vrykul. Next we killed Garhal, got the key for Lord Lyra, and went outside of the mine to find the goblin we were looking for. And there he is. Time to challenge Agnata and free our little green friend. After that quest I got to level 80, so I went back to Stormwind to quickly train my spells and put some stuff in the auction house. Speaking of the auction house, it is important to note that the economy on Gamer District suffers from massive amounts of inflation, as even a stack of room cloth can go for hundreds of gold, and a damaged necklace is about 1,000 gold. Not the best, but it probably has to do with the fact that earning gold is a lot easier, since you get 7 times gold from quests. Then it was time to continue this awesome quest chain. Here we're challenging these mobs to a duel, and all seems well once again. Next quest is where things start to get interesting. We gotta mount a bear and shoot flaming arrows at giants and frostworks, so there's multiple mechanics that need to work correctly, and again, Gamer District doesn't fail to deliver. Then we had to free proto-drakes and prisoners, and I really hope those prisoners aren't afraid of heights. Then we rescued a bear out of a cave, tore this giant yeti to pieces, and then we're off to kill some drake riders, and while flying there, it seems that this animation is a little wonky, but the quest itself worked just fine. And there we go, Thorin himself. I completed the quest, and then we were off to kill some iron giants, and then finally, we got exalted with the Sons of Hodir. That's right, exalted, because of the 7 times reputation rate. So looking back at that long ass quest chain, I am extremely impressed. I expected at least a minor bug or two, but it seems this entire questline, apart from maybe some visual bugs, is working perfectly. Hats off, Gamer District. So being level 80, I decided to get myself a cool pet. Oh yeah, much better. And then one of my old guildies from Primal WoW decided to boost me through some random dungeon runs. Now normally as a DPS I would have to wait in the queue for quite a while, but with him, bam! Instant queue pop. And since his gear was totally insane, we flew through these dungeons like they were nothing. I unfortunately didn't get any gear out of it, but that's okay. I was just glad to see a bit more Wrath content and see if it was all working correctly, which it did. So a huge thanks to my buddy Alex for helping me out there, I really appreciate it. But we're not stopping there. You see, the reason why I rolled Alliance is because of my buddy Alex and another player in his guild called Steppy. They were kind enough to let me tag along with one of their ICC guild runs, and since they all play Alliance, I had to go Alliance. So that's right, we're going to ICC. So how did it go? Well, I had a lot of fun as I never did ICC before, so just being able to see the content was very exciting for me. One thing to keep in mind is that the raid group I was in existed out of incredibly overgeared people, so all the bosses were a complete face roll. But honestly, I didn't mind that much. I was just checking to see if everything worked as intended, and I have to say that ICC is scripted very well. I also had the opportunity to talk with some people who were playing there for quite some time, including a player called Pandemonium, who has the Lore Master title. Now, if you don't know what the Lore Master title is, it's basically an achievement that you get from completing all the quests from the faction that you're playing on. That's right, all of them. So if there's anyone who can give me some info regarding how well the quests work on the server, it's this guy. So, take a wild guess at how many quests he found that were bugged. 1. Exactly, 1 bugged quest. Out of the hundreds, if not thousands of quests that you could do here, he found just 1. That is extremely impressive if you ask me. And after record time we got to the Lich King and got him down in just 1 go. Not because of me though, because I messed up and died like the scrub that I am. After that we did a quick run in Ruby Sanctum, which was done in no time again, and for once I didn't die. Anyway, looking back at that, I can tell that the raiding content is working very, very well. And like I said before, I had a blast hanging out with the people from the Guild Enigma on TeamSpeak, and I can't thank them enough for taking me with their pug run, giving me the opportunity to check out some endgame raiding content. A special shout out goes to both Alex and Steppy, as they were the ones that made this all possible. So that was PvE. What about PvP? Well, as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of PvP, but this can't be a full-on review if I just skip over it, so let's do a random battleground and check it out. Now everything here seems in place and we actually managed to win. Again, not because of me, because I have no idea how to PvP with a Hunter in Wrath, and I have no resilience gear, but whatever, I had some fun. Now I know, it would be unfair to judge how well PvP works here by just doing 1 or 2 random battlegrounds, so I called my 2 buddies Alex and Steppy again to tell a little bit more about how well PvP is working here.
I've been in every single BG, and I know all of them are scripted. All of them are working properly. In arenas, the only thing that's bugged positively is Beastmaster Hunters, because their damage is over-tuned here. So what you can do in arena is go Beastmaster, Enhanced Shaman, and basically the Beastmaster pops Bestial Wrath, the Enhanced Shaman pops Heroism, and then the Hunter just does absolutely insane damage to people for about 45 seconds. And this is how you counter it. You live for 45 seconds and you've beaten that comp. And basically any healer comp can do that.
Wow.
We want to mention this. 2v2 doesn't have an item level limit, but 3v3s on this server, arenas, they have like a tournament for who can get top. And if you're in top 1, top 2, or top 3 on the like the rankings for the seasons, get donation points, vote points, mounts.
Oh shit, really?
Basically. Yeah. And so it's very heavily moderated. So you can only have item level 264 gear, which is ICC 25 normal, Biz, or 10 heroic. And then you also, if they find people feeding points, like it's called win trading here.
Yeah.
If someone's purposely losing, their account gets banned.
Is there like any like weird bugs or anything regarding the classes, or is it all just working fine?
The only recent bug that I know of has been they tried to fix. Someone reported the fact that Shadowmourne wasn't proccing properly on certain abilities for warriors. And DKs. So they implemented a fix to make it work like on those abilities. But what they accidentally did was make it so every time a warrior switched stance, it would generate a stack of Shadowmourne. So they could just switch stacks and then get a full stack of Shadowmourne and go in with full stacks and hit really hard.
Holy shit!
But that was fixed within a week.
Yeah,
it's already fixed. And other than that, I don't think there's really any game-breaking bugs that will actually help you in PvP.
All right, and Alex, what about the Battlegrounds like Winter Grasps and like Altric Valley? Like, are they scripted? Are they working properly?
Honestly, like I've been playing on this server for like 2 years now, and I've never ever encountered a bug when it comes to PvP, ever.
Basically, Strand of the Ancients and everything like and Winter Grasp are all working fine, like the siege weapons and everything too, right?
Yes, completely.
Yep.
Holy shit, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys once again for adding this to the review. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Alright.
Sure, man.
And there we go. That kind of covers PvP. Last but not least, we're checking out a unique feature of Gamer District, which is their transmog feature. Now, transmog has been around for quite some time on retail, but it's working on a Wrath server, so credit where credit's due. The way it works is first, you gotta enable transmog on the website, and then you gotta collect transmog tokens, which you can get through daily random dungeons. This is based on luck, so you're not guaranteed to get them every time you do a dungeon. Honestly, I don't understand why it has to be that complicated when it's just a cosmetic change, but it does give people an extra reason to run dungeons other than just rep, badges and gear, and it does allow for some really cool appearances. Last but not least, we're having a quick look at the website because it is important to note that yes, you can get gear through voting and you can get endgame gear by donating, so in that regard, it is pay to win. Well, that's all I have to say about Gamer District. So, what's the verdict? Well, Gamer District has made a very impressive Wrath of the Lich King server. I found almost all of the content working, and the stuff that didn't work correctly only had some minor issues, like a wonky visual bug and nothing more. They have a decent population rate at around 1200 people on average, which is not enough to make every zone feel alive, but in cities such as Dalaran there's plenty of people to be found, and there's plenty of people queuing for heroics and battlegrounds. The only thing about Gamer District is the fact that all the content has already been released, so there's no more content to look forward to, and the majority of people are running around in ICC gear. Other than that though, I can't find any major flaws with the server, and trust me, I went out of my way to find them. So, should you be playing here? Well, you gotta ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Are you looking for a Wrath server with high rates? 2. Are you okay with them having a cash shop that sells gear? And 3. Are you okay with the fact that all the content has already been released? If you answered all those 3 questions with a yes, then you should definitely play here. Gamer District has done an incredible job of offering a very solid Wrath server, and I had a lot of fun playing here. If you have a problem with their cash shop, their high rates, and if you want a fresh kind of server, then I suggest you look elsewhere. And that's going to do it for now. I want to thank you for watching this review of mine. I'm Hamsterwheel, and have a good one.